stock Raptor with an Empire exhaust, zero mapping it right now. Let's see what it does in spaceline. Starting off at 42 horsepower. .42 as the starting point. Didn't get an accurate torque adjustment, but starting off at 14 to 1. Not bad. The airbox top is off. Let's get on to tuning it. So how much did they gain? Here we go. We went from just shy of 42 to 46 and a third. Big gaps across the whole damn thing. A lot of that's ignition timing. A lot of it's also fuel. So should end up being a nice smooth curve like it is. Nice flat air fuel curve. It was lean as shit before. So we are still on knobbies, so you know that number accounts for it. That's who we are. Yeah. Just the start of a 2 mil overhead.
Oh yes, my favorite
nice
song.
Back to the start of a 2 mil overhead. It's currently about 1 mil over. A lot more cutting to do. Piston before we prep it. Nice and shiny. Not going to be shiny in a moment. Just a little halfway point. Maybe halfway. At least the exhaust port's as wide as it needs to be. Intake, I may have to go a little bit more. Before and after, sort of, yeah, stock looks like complete crap. 2 millimeter over valves with some big holes for a 700. Let's get her ceramic prepped, ready for coating. All right. All out the oven, piston's done, ready, cylinder head. Ooh, beautiful cylinder head, all ceramic coated. Let's get her together. We got her up on the dyno, got done with the day of tuning, let you guys see what they'll do. 63 horsepower. That's 2mm over valves, 50mm intake. This is just a stage 3 cam, hot cams. It could probably use a bigger cam. That's why we're falling off down there. But pretty happy with it. Lots of power. That's an 800. Something up at me. Made just shy of 64 horsepower on that last run. We were getting some clutch slip. We would have made a little bit more, but we are starting to fall off at the top there. Should have went with a bigger cam. If we look at where we started before we went in and put the bigger valves and bigger throttle body, all that power was gained on the back end. Just gigantic differences. Now granted, that was a fairly lean tune, but it did run. 10 horsepower difference across the board. That's huge. So comparing start to finish, gigantic horsepower gains up top. So from 42 to 62, that's a 20 horsepower gain there. Even bigger than a 20 horsepower gain in that area there. Almost all of that's all 20. Just huge gains. We're actually, the clutch is slipping here. So we made more torque than that, but it did register 55 foot-pounds of torque, even though it multiplied it by a double factor, because the computer on the dyno was reading weird. So if we change our torque readings to the drum itself, which never reads inaccurate, that is our force to the rear wheel. That is roughly a 10x multiple, slightly less than that. You actually, in order to get the real number, we have to, since we got some numbers that are accurate, I was able to figure out the multiplication factor, and if you multiply that by 0.11, we get our actual numbers. So our peak torque was 55 foot-pounds on the, after all the modifications we did on the big bore kit, we made 50 foot-pounds, and we started off at 40 and 42 foot-pounds of torque. Keep in mind, all of these numbers are with knobby tires on. We did not put a set of dyno slicks on them or not, so all these numbers are reading a little on the low side due to the tires. And if you go to a custom cam, that red line is a custom cam and I believe a 58mm throttle body. So a really big throttle body, but as you see, it falls a lot down at the bottom. This build was done the way that it was done because it's going to be on the dirt, it's going to be running trails, and all of this up here matters more for drag racing, but for trail use, this is going to be more fun. Redline is also E85 as fuel and very high compression. Okay, so we're going off of the torque of the roller, which is why everything's such big numbers. Keep in mind this is equal to 50 foot-pounds of torque, but smaller throttle body, longer stroke, making way more torque down at the bottom, and this clutch is slipping. And then this one was not, but it's a 58mm throttle body, making huge power up at the top, as well as a really big custom cam.